It's okay to say no.
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
Prestige Living Podcast. So with that, who do you want to be?
Hello, checking the mic, 1, 2. Welcome to Prestige Living. This is Jay O'Brien with another segment of Be Bold. We've talked about time management before, and in fact, the first episode of Be Bold was titled Reclaim Your Time. If you remember that one, it debuted the thought process around protecting your time like it's a currency. And I want to touch on it again today. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's super, super important. I see stuff happening around me every single day that reminds me of this. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about it today. The idea around time management is to eliminate as much gray as possible. It can be anywhere, but it's, for example, it could be when meetings aren't clearly defined through an agenda or don't have a hard stop time, for example, that you find yourself running late to your next appointment or getting frazzled when you're in traffic because you feel rushed and you start lashing out at people and you're upset because you don't know how to manage your own time, or something comes up and someone says, hey, remember we had that thing today? And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe we had that. I mean, that's on you. And it's constantly happening when people are pulling you in 1,000 different directions in the workplace, but it also happens every single day in social situations. Think about this. You know those times that you're put on the spot when you're out in public and someone says, hey, we're all going to this happy hour tomorrow after work. You should come. And, it could be anything. And you reply maybe with something like, yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe I'll come. Or even worse, this is absolutely the worst, is when someone says, invite you somewhere, it could be anything. Can you come to the party this Friday or at so-and-so's house or whatever it is? And you say, here it is. You're like, I have something going on already, but I'm really going to try to make it there. And it could be anything. Like, oh yeah, Friday I think's booked, or I have this, but I'll really try. Like, bullshit. You're not going to try. You're definitely not going to try. And when people say maybe, what they really mean is no. And we all know this. I mean, these types of responses are given in an attempt to keep the peace, so to speak, and not hurt someone's feelings. But in reality, you're just insulting someone's intelligence by actually thinking that they believe your bullshit canned response. You know damn well you're not going to go, and you know damn well you don't want to go. So just say that. And that's where I'm going with this message. I forget the first place where I heard this, but it's a general rule of thumb and a philosophy that if your answer to something is not hell yes, then it's a no. That's really the dynamic. It's either hell yes or no. Dwell on that for a minute. If the answer is not hell yes, then it's a no. Everything we do in life revolves around priorities, right? So there's no such thing as I can't or I'm going to try. Let me give you an example. Substitute that happy hour offer or that party offer with, and yeah, your favorite celebrity is going to be there with all of us. Well, now, all of a sudden, your answer changes and priorities shift a little bit. The hell yes versus no analysis can be used all over the place and might require a little bit of practice in the beginning. In fact, I'm sure it will. Think about taking on a new client, for example. Is this someone you're stoked to be working with and aligns with your interests? Hell yes or no? You're invited to go to the baseball game this Friday night with some colleagues. Does that excite you? Hell yes or no? Really focus on trying to evaluate your mood when you find yourself committing to things. Is it out of obligation or out of genuine excitement? How many times have you canceled on somebody last minute and probably with a pretty lame excuse to get out of something you regretfully committed to in advance? Or even worse, you followed through on your commitment and allowed your time to be monopolized by someone or something you had no interest in doing to begin with. And by doing so, you're actually either tarnishing relationships by constantly disappointing people with what clearly can be seen as a bullshit and empty last-minute excuse or a false promise, or B, you're resenting the people around you who keep locking you into these engagements you have no interest in but feel obligated to go to in order to appease them. But really, the control lies with you, and you need to own that. It's okay to say no. And if you know me personally, you know that I'm no stranger to this type of decision making, and you know that if it's not on my calendar, it's basically not even a real thing. And this has allowed me to stay very structured, very well organized, and punctual with what real priorities are to me. And the punctuality part is perhaps maybe the most important, because I'm constantly demonstrating how important other people's time is by committing up front, following through, not saying my time is more important than theirs by showing up late. Again, time is a currency, and it's the only one we have that cannot be re-earned, it cannot be regained, it can't be refilled. Once it's spent, it's gone. So be careful what you're exchanging for it. Be firm, be confident, be decisive, and be bold.
If you would like to be on the Prestige Living Podcast or know someone that would be a great guest, go to www.prestigelivingpodcast.com. We'd love to hear your story.